إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله فالحمد لله الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا فالحمد لله الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض ولم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك وخلق كل شيء فقدره تقديرا إن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن خير الأمور عوازمها وشر الأمور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. My dear brothers and sisters, I have recited an ayah from Surah Baqarah وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah describes a list of things, a list of tests and trials which we face in our life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ, I will test you, بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ, with a little bit of fear, khawf in life, وَالْجُوء, and hunger, unemployment, financially tight situation, وَنَقْسٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ, and loss of wealth, loss of property, loss in business, losing business, bankruptcy, وَالْأَنفُسِ, and loss of lives. We see our close relations, children, parents, they die, they pass away, and it is quite painful. All these are the tests of our life, the difficulties, the hardship, the hard times of our life. وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ, and loss of fruits and results. Sometimes we put our efforts, we do hard work, and the result is not very favorable. We fail the exam, we fail the tests. So all these tests of our life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enlists them in this ayah. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوءِ وَنَقْسٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, glad tidings to those who are sabir, who are patient upon all these hardships and trials. And then very popular and known ayah comes after this. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. They say we all belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever we have, this belongs to Allah. Allah owns everything. قُلْ لِمَنْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Everything in this earth, in this heavens and the earth belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He takes it away, if He takes any life, if somebody passes away, if the business, we lose business, if the money we lose, if anything happens, everything belongs to Allah. So He takes it. He has the rights. So once we believe that everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it helps us to console our feelings, to reconcile our feelings and sadness. So this is the beauty of the Quranic verses, that this life is full of trials. This is by default, this life. It's not Jannah, it's not paradise. Paradise, Jannah, that is Dar Salam. There is peace and salam and peace everywhere. There is no difficulty, no trial, no khawf, no fear of losing job, and no fear, there's no bill, no gas bill, no payment of bill, no liability there. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, He placed him and his wife in the paradise. He said, there's nothing to pay, everything is free here. وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةِ O Adam, you and your wife live here. وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةِ فَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا Whatever you delight, eat, whatever you find, everything is free. Allah tajua fiha wala tara. You will not be naked here, and you will not be thirsty here. You will not be hungry here. Everything is abundantly available. But this life, my brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will test you in this life. Sometimes you will lose your job. Sometimes you will lose your life. وَالْأَنفُسْ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسْ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And at another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. I will test you with the good and with the bad. If something good happens, if something bad happens, that is a test too. Somebody falls sick. We lose our business, we lose our job. This is a test.
He was the first khatib
And
in Islam.
if somebody is in a good situation,
Quraysh came and attacked him.
something good happens in our life.
Utbah
That
ibn
is a
Rabi'a
test
grabbed
too.
his shoes.
Because
and
that
he
is
had
the
Abu Bakr on
time
ground, and he
we
kept
need to
beating
be
him,
thankful,
beating him in his face
grateful
and
to
everywhere
Allah subhanahu
until
wa
Abu Bakr
ta'ala.
radiallahu anhu
If
was
we are
arrested.
grateful, we pass our test.
And then his people
If we
begged
are
him.
ungrateful
They came to rescue Abu
and
Bakr.
forget
They
Allah
grabbed a
subhanahu wa
cloth
ta'ala
to carry
and
Abu Bakr
forget that
radiallahu
this
anhu feet,
favor,
and they
this
thought that
khair
he was
is from Allah
100%
subhanahu wa
bad.
ta'ala,
They
that
carried
because
his cloth.
usually when we are happy, we neglect
That
our
he's
religion,
lost
we
his
neglect, we even forget to
Taking
pray.
his mother.
And when we are in difficulty,
And then
we
the wife
pray more. We try to pray longer. So this is one of the situations. Both situations are testful situations. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ We test you بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ with something good and something bad as well. If somebody is in a difficult situation, he is going through a test, a trial, a hardship. If somebody is in good situation, business is running, money is coming, children are very obedient, everything is absolutely fine, this is a test as well. This is a trial as well from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we are not thankful for all these favors, then we failed our tests. And in hard situation, in difficult situation, if we are not sabir, if we are not patient, then again we failed our tests. In the times of difficulty, we are required to be patient. And in the times of good situations and happiness, we are required to be thankful and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes we usually think when somebody falls sick, when we lose job, when bad things happen after one another in sequence, then sometimes we think, perhaps Allah is angry with me. Perhaps I am not favorite to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes we start complaining to Allah, about Allah. Sometimes we start complaining to the people. This is not allowed. If something bad happens, you can complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a legitimate way of complaining. Just like Prophet Ayyub alayhi salatu wasalam complained to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Anni massani yadur wa anta arhamur rahimin. Oh Allah, I am in difficulty, I can't bear it. You can complain to Allah because only Allah can remove your difficulty. Anni massani yadur, a difficulty, a disease has fallen upon me. And you, Ya Rabbul Alameen, you are merciful. And complaining to the people, because sometimes we whinge, we complain to the people, why this is happening to me? I am always in difficult situation. Perhaps, why me? Complaining to the people, that is something which is not allowed. That is a sign of ungratefulness and unthankfulness. This is something we need to find out. We need to work out what is the legitimate way of complaining. Prophets complained to Allah because they knew. Similarly, Prophet Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam complained to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he lost his son Yusuf. He said, Innama ashku bathi wa huzni ilallah. I only put my complaint to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because he knew, because in Quran we are told, وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُ. Whenever something bad happens in our life, only Allah can remove it. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُ. And we sometimes think probably the difficulties of our life when we fall sick and we sometimes diagnose some ailment or disease, we get depressed and perhaps Allah doesn't like me anymore. Allah loves all of us, and this is also a sign of love by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when He puts us in difficulty. Why? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when Allah loves someone, He subhanahu wa ta'ala puts him in difficulty. Because, when was the last time you cry out to Allah more? When you were in difficulty. When your child got sick. When your child was in hospital, you cried out to Allah, oh Allah, help me. And this is the situation Allah describes in Quran. وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ. When insan is put in difficulty, in pain, وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ دَعَانَا. Then he does dua. لِجَنْبِهِ أَوْ قَاعِدًا أَوْ قَائِمًا. While sitting, standing, lying down, all the time he just asks Allah, oh Allah, help me. Only you can help me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts His servants, insan, in difficulty, in pain, in trials and hardships. Not because Allah doesn't love them. Allah loves human beings. Just like parents, they sometimes punish their children. Mother smacks their children. They punish their children not to torture them, just to amend them, to improve their character. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts them in difficulty so that they come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that they do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ دَعَانَا لِجَنْبِهِ أَوْ قَاعِدًا أَوْ قَائِمًا فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا. This is the continuation of the ayah. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا. Allah says when we remove his difficulty, he does dua when he is in difficulty. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُ دُرَّهُ. When we remove his difficulty, مَرَّ كَأَلَّمْ يَدْعُنَا إِلَى ضُرٍّ مَسَّهُ. He walks away from us. He forgets us. He neglects us. As if he never been in difficulty. When you are in difficulty, you call out to Allah. When the difficulty is removed by Allah, you neglect Allah. This is the situation Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in many verses in the Quran. This is one of the example verse. Here it's important to note Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not criticize that why you only call out to Allah in difficulty. Allah doesn't criticize it. Allah likes it. So if you are in difficulty, do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be hesitant. Oh, what Allah will say. He only comes to me when he is in need. He is Allah. Allah does not criticize in this ayah that the person is in difficulty, only then he calls out him. What Allah criticizing here, point to note, what Allah criticizing here is that when the difficulty is removed, why he walks away? He still needs to be connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ دَعَانَا لِجَنْبِهِ أَوْ قَاعِدًا أَوْ قَائِمًا فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُ ضُرَّهُ مَرَّ كَأَن لَّمْ يَدْعُنَا إِلَى ضُرٍّ مَسَّهُ كَذَلِكَ زُيِّنَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. So this is the brief khutbah about the problems and difficulties and ailments and sicknesses and illnesses of our life, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consoling here that this life is لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ, that this life by default is full of tests and trials, and the purpose of the tests and trial is not the torturing human, is not to punish human, is to get them close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to recognize the iman, to recognize Allah, to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all times, in difficult times and in easy time. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Allah